Hello, my name is Thomas Lawrenson. This is my audience, and I'm going to do my 4-minute presentation on an article I found by the New York Times. It is called The Missing Numbers in Preventing Murders, and it was published at August 28, 2019. So basically, the whole purpose of this article is to try to find the connection of how solving murders can prevent other murders from happening. And basically, how they explore this is they look into, at first, what causes this idea to come up. And they asked this author who writes criminal books and basically to describe why people think this way. And there's 3 steps. The first is incapacitation, which means if a criminal is thrown in prison, then he can't kill anybody. Second is if a criminal is arrested and it's publicly tried, and it could prevent other killers or deter them from committing other murders. And third is retribution, is that if a family member or loved ones see that the person who murdered their friend is brought to justice, they won't have to take matters in their own hands and try to kill the killer. And then after this, they kind of look into the data, and they actually find out that there's not much data connecting this theory. It doesn't support it that much. And basically, what is causing this is that is mistakes made by departments, or just false statements. Say they solve a case through some kind of circumstance, but the case isn't actually solved, or that it's just solved or it's an old case that is solved later. And the data suggests that actually this doesn't add up. That solving murders doesn't actually prevent murders. And I actually agree with this, because if you can't solve a murder, you can't prevent other murders just by solving them, because there's always going to be killers. And it's always throughout history, there's always going to be the next new killer. And solving murders won't cause them to back off or anything. Most murders are because they're either deranged, or because they're angry, or it's because of another purpose. And there's really no way to prevent that by solving someone else's murder. And so basically, that is my opinion on that. And the article closes up basically reviewing all the data and finding there's no real connection to these. They talk about shootings and stuff like that could basically explain why this is this is the case of why the data isn't adding up. So basically, with shootings, say a person is randomly shot in a gun accident. He's not the intended target. He was just killed by accident. They could say that case was solved, but that doesn't prevent other murders, because that person wasn't the target. And so this is basically what they're trying to explain. And that in these cases, it's not as simple as you think, as just solving murder is just going to prevent others down the road. And that is basically the main purpose of the article. And so that is my presentation. Thank you for the audience for listening, and bye.